Welcome back to the Glocal Collective, the podcast where we explore the stories, ambitions, and creative journeys of people who are building something meaningful in this part of the world. Today's guest is someone who traded the world of luxury beauty marketing to follow her very own, but a different kind of sparkle. She studied at the prestigious Istituto, if I am pronouncing it right. Help me out over there. Built her for eye for the luxury at YSL Beauty across the GCC and Middle East region. And then she turned that vision into something entirely of her own, which is now known as Aina Fine Jewellery. Wonderful name. A bespoke jewelry brand right here in Dubai. Welcome, Tanya Akkaoui. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. First of all, I would like to know why Aina?
The brand was born from the idea of wanting to create a piece of jewelry that holds your memory and it would travel through time. That was really the idea of it. And Aina is actually
Yes,
an Indian name, and it means self-reflection in the mirror. And that's kind of the whole concept of the brand, creating jewelry that tells your story, that mimics who you are as a
yeah.
person. And so it works really well
I think
together
it's
with
a
the concept.
beautiful name, and you went from, marketing those luxury beauty products, beauty brands, to designing your own fine jewelry. Which
Yeah.
on paper it may seem really different for some people, but when you look at you, when we look at you and your work, it's really classy, it's really elegant, and you really learned something over there. You know your game, what you're doing. So I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what was the moment you realized you needed to make that leap, and how scary was it?
I'll tell you, I always knew I wanted to do something for myself, and I always thought it was going to be in fashion. So having my own couture brand was always the ultimate dream. It still is. It's still in the works. It'll
Get
come
there.
to life soon in the next year, hopefully.
Mhm.
Keep an eye out for that. Uh, but to go back to my experience, so I started in the world of beauty, right? I started at L'Oréal, and I really wanted to work for a company like L'Oréal where the core of their business was marketing. Really, this is where I learned all the ABCs of marketing and how real marketing
True.
works. It's a very fast-paced environment, and the learning curve was extremely steep. It wasn't easy,
Mhm.
but it was very insightful, and I've learned a lot. And after that, I actually moved to Cartier, and this is where I fell in love with the world of jewelry.
Oh,
But Cartier was a completely different company. Their focus is more on retail. So this is where I developed my knowledge of customer experience and how retail
retail
excellence
knowledge.
really
Yeah.
work. Exactly. So they both experiences were extremely complementary together. Moving from being in the corporate world to being an entrepreneur is extremely scary. It's no walk in the park, that's for sure. But I think that sometimes you just have to take a chance, take the leap, and think, what's the worst that's going to happen?
And
If
we're
I don't do it
so glad
now,
that you
when?
did it. Look at you where you are right now, and how really beautifully and gracefully you're building that brand, which shows, in your product and your passion and the way you talk
Yeah,
about it, you deliver it. Something really nicely you said over there. It is a big thing that when you're working in a corporate, you think 10 times more that, do I really want to be an entrepreneur because I have a stable job in some cases, I'm very comfortable where I am, and I'm getting to learn. But what are you going to do with that learning if you're not going to implement it in one way or the other? So
100%,
I-
100%.
it's really important
It's
to.
high risks, but high reward as well,
Mm.
right? You're taking a very big risk as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs that you've interviewed already have told you being an entrepreneur is high risk. At
Yeah,
some months, at the end of the month, you're paying employees from your own pocket because I
yeah,
don't know how I'm going to make payroll this month. And some months you're spending crazy amounts on
yeah.
marketing and PR events, and it's a lot of highs and lows. It's not a straight line. It's not a
Okay.
straight path, but with that comes a lot of reward as well. Nobody's there to pat you on the back like in the corporate world, but once you see your products come to life, the reward that you get from it is
it's
just
it's great to
you
see
can't put
your
a price
vision
tag on
coming to
that.
life, and then surrounding
A
yourself
hundred percent.
with the people. And of course, in your journey, you've been blessed to work with such brands where you actually adopted and you learned, and you didn't really stay in one place, but you're like, hey, how can it work? How can I make this knowledge work
Exactly.
for myself? I think that's the biggest
Yeah,
investment that anyone can make in themselves. Learn from the
for
work and then
sure.
implement it. So bravo, well done on you.
Thank you so much. It's not easy, but definitely worth the risk.
Speaking about your bespoke jewelry, which is an incredibly personal thing, you're working with
Yeah.
people on pieces that are tied to some of the biggest moments in their life, like rings. I love the rings, by the way. That's my favorite part of jewelry is rings. Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to know, what does that process look like from the first conversation that you have with your client? We have different client touch points,
Yeah,
and
of
uh,
course.
with the client's finished piece. So walk me through that.
Yeah. So first, I just want to highlight that I work as a private jeweler. So the concept of Aina is not commercial jewelry. It's not a retail store where you walk into the store and you find pieces that you potentially find at other jewelers as well. It's a private jewelry concept. So it's very tailor-made to every client. So the way that it works is that a client reaches out. Most of the time, it's because they're referred by someone. That's really how the world of jewelry works. It's based on trust and word of mouth. So, for example, I have a client now. He reached out. He said, okay, I want to propose to my soon-to-be fiance, and I want to create a ring, but I don't want a traditional ring, and I don't want a normal diamond. I want a sapphire, and I want a ring that resembles us as a couple. So depending on where the client is, if the client is in the same country, then we would meet up. Either I would go to the client, they would come to the office, and we have a first chat, or via Zoom if they're in a different country. So the first call is usually an introductory call. Sorry, it's all about getting to know my client, what the client is looking for, who they are as a person, and trying to understand their personality as well. They give me their specifications, what the budget, what they're looking for, all the
Proper
details. And then we
customization,
have the
right? You do proper
exactly, it's
personalization.
all customization,
Hmm.
100%. So the concept is I don't hold stock. I source the piece for you. So you come to me and you say, I want to create, I don't know, a high jewelry necklace. We will draw it together. You will be part of the process,
Oh,
and I will source these stones specifically for you.
it's really
That's the whole
exciting.
concept. Exactly. It's all about making you feel like you're a part of this process as
That's
well.
true, and
It's not a process that's done within a week or two. It's usually
it
a
takes
lengthy
time. Yeah,
process,
of course.
depends on the
Yeah.
creation. Yeah, exactly. And that's how it works. And it's several calls or meetings afterwards. We do the first drawings, you get to see it, you approve it. We also print that and frame that for you so you have it for later.
Oh,
Then once we source the stones, you see and approve the stones. You're really part of every step of the
it's
process.
really great that
Uh,
you are letting people experience that thing, that what they are buying is not just something they're picking up from the shelf, but it's you
exactly.
creating and curating that special moment, special experience, they are experiencing it with you, which
Exactly.
is great.
Exactly.
Not everybody
Jewelry
gets
is
to
very
do that.
personal.
Yeah,
It's very personal. You want to feel like it has your touch, like it's unique
yeah,
and not something that everybody can have.
absolutely. Unique in its own way. Everybody has their own
Exactly.
style, own choice, own persona. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
bravo. How did you, it's really great that you're building this brand in Dubai, which is a very fascinating market. And, when you speak luxury, you think of Dubai, right?
Yeah,
And everybody wants to be there in number one, of course, but top five
yeah,
in the luxury brands market. I'm sure the vision for Aina is also that kind of vision.
for
Um,
sure.
you have incredible wealth of experience, a lot of diversity, and so is Dubai, which is a very sophisticated customer market. So, how do
Yeah.
you position your brand, Aina, in that landscape? And who is your typical client? Is there any specific target audience that you have or that you'd like to share?
So So it's very important to always keep in mind what you're trying to achieve with your brand. Are you trying to open different retail stores and be present in malls, or do you want to keep operating as a private jeweler and work directly with the clients? So it's very important to have that vision, and then you position yourself accordingly. For now, the vision for Aina, at least for the next 3 years, is to remain as a private jeweler. Today, I operate between the United Arab Emirates and between Saudi Arabia as well, because there's a very big market over there as well. It's a bit more saturated in Dubai than it is in Saudi Arabia for sure. But definitely when you talk luxury, you talk about the
Yeah.
Middle East. And when you talk about customer experience, you talk about the Middle East as well. So it's always very important to keep in mind what the values of your brand are and what you're trying to achieve. And this is the focus for Aina today. I'm not running to be a top commercial jeweler and open in the Dubai Mall anytime soon, but rather how can I develop even more a customer experience? How can I create a community
Mhm.
for Aina that is not revolved around a retail
Yeah.
store? This is really the main focus. Create a sort of community, an Aina Fine Jewellery community, a sort of club that people get to be a part of and get to create their pieces. So
With
the
your
idea later is
experience,
to
with your
have,
experience and with your expertise, it shouldn't be a problem, and you can achieve it very, very accurately, I believe so. But go slow,
yeah,
step by step. It's okay. We're not in a rush. We're all in the same,
100%.
and just need to find the right audience, right time, click with them, and provide them the experience that they actually are looking for
Exactly.
and deserve it here, right?
Exactly.
When it
Exactly.
comes to your passion for making jewelry, I am very curious to know and learn a little bit more about any story that you would like to share when you created the first ever piece that made you feel like, ah, this is my moment, this is what I want to do, and I love what I've created.
Yeah. You'll get that feeling after every piece, by the way, of,
Yeah,
oh,
I
wow,
can
I
see
love
the
what I've created and I'm actually good at this. But I'll tell you how it all started. And it's actually how the brand was born. So a few years ago, I lost someone that was very dear to me. And her nickname was actually Aina, and this is
oh,
where the inspiration came from. But this is just to say that before she passed on, she gave me a piece of jewelry that she loved a lot. And she wanted to give me so that I can hold on to it and, always remember her by this. And I loved the piece, but it wasn't
you.
something I would
Yeah.
usually wear. Exactly. So I really wanted to take this piece and recreate something that still looks like the piece that she liked. So there's a piece of her, but there's a touch of
Yeah.
me as well in it. And that's what I did actually. And that's how it started. And that's when I'm like, oh, actually, I think this
What
is
was
a
the
really
piece that you
cool
created?
idea. So it was a ring.
It was a ring.
It was a blue sapphire ring. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now, but I would love to share pictures later
Yeah,
with you.
please do that. I
But
love
it
to
was
see it.
a blue sapphire ring, and it was a set of six stones, six sapphire rings, and I recreated that ring. I kept the general idea of the design into something that I would actually wear more often, so that there's a piece of her and a piece of me, and something that would
Just
be present
beautiful.
for
I
for
can
for
see it.
forever.
I can feel it in your voice, and I can see it when you're speaking about it. It reminds you of some
Yeah.
beautiful memories, and it's really dear
It
to you,
does.
which is
It
really
does.
great.
It
So
does.
I
It does.
feel like
Yeah.
Aina is existing to create the same sort of experience through their clientele, to the customers who
Exactly.
are
A hundred
wishing to
percent.
give a little piece of themselves and cure it in a way, that's a keepsake as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing. Also, your LinkedIn bio says that you're led by ambition, persistence, and courage,
Yes.
and committed to everlasting self education. So, what does that look like a day in a life of a designer entrepreneur? Walk us through that. You
So
just
let
came
me
back
tell
from
you.
China, so I want to know a
Yeah.
little bit crazy things.
Let me tell you, being an entrepreneur is not easy. To be able to last in the world of entrepreneurship, you need a lot of courage and you need a lot of persistence as well, because it's not a straight line. It's a lot of highs and lows. The highs are amazing, but the lows, that's when you're really tested. And this is when you're really pushed to your limits. And how you handle these lows determines how high your highs are after
Absolutely.
and how
Yeah.
successful your business is after. So if you don't have that ambition, you don't have that persistence and that courage, because sometimes all it takes is courage.
Mm,
It's very difficult to survive in this world. And I say survive because
absolutely. Yeah.
you're going to be tested by everybody. Your team is going to test you every single day. They're going to
Mm,
see how far they can push you. Uh, Clients are going to test you. People that you're going to work with, everybody is going to test you to see really how far
your
you can
limits.
go
Yeah.
and if exactly what are your limits. And you have to really believe in your vision. You have to believe in your project, because most people, and I tell you this from experience, 99% of everyone around me didn't believe in my vision until it started becoming successful,
And that's
until
what
it came
happens
to life
usually.
and they saw it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you have a vision and you are very determined to achieve something. People don't see it. They think, hey, you're stupid, you're crazy, why are you doing it when there are 10,000 other people are doing it? I mean,
Exactly.
at
Exactly.
least try to believe in me. Maybe I can be different in somewhat way.
But it takes for you to believe in yourself. If you believe in it, if you believe in your vision and you have that courage, nothing can stop you. You're going to fail for sure. No
Yeah,
one knows how to do everything from the beginning. You're going to learn a
yeah.
lot. And being a business owner also means that
That's the
you
best
have to
part.
learn how to
Yeah.
do everything. Because, yes, my passion is for jewelry and I'm designing the jewelry, but I'm not good at accounting. I'm not good at all the
Yeah.
other operational
I'll
things,
make
but I
mistakes,
have to
but
learn
I'll
how to
learn.
do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes. So this is extremely important. And always learn more. Self-educate yourself more. Look at other domains. Don't focus on just
Mm,
jewelry. So, like you said, I was in China right now. I was attending the content fair, and I attended all the phases. I attended to the machinery. I attended the home and textile. I attended everything. And sometimes all it takes is finding something new in a different industry, and it inspires you to
yeah.
somehow create something in yours. So don't be afraid to look outside the box, see what's out there, and always learn more.
Be
There's
curious. Stay
so much
curious
we
and
can do.
explore,
Be
right?
curious.
Be curious.
Exactly,
Actually,
100%.
curiosity feeds all of these things. So as long as you're curious in whichever field you are in, you're doing great.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
be adaptable, acceptable to all of the things that are around you. You cannot just stick
Yeah,
to one thing because the world is moving. It's
100%.
evolving so fast that you have to go with the flow. You can't, just stay
You can't.
behind. You
And
can't.
and sometimes clients will ask you for something that maybe you've never done before. But I've learned this, and it's funny, but I've learned this from Joey from Friends when they were looking at his CV and he's saying, but you don't know how to do all these things. And
Yeah,
he says, it's okay. You say you know how to do it and you'll figure it out later.
that's true. That's very
Not to
true.
this extent, but I mean, sometimes a client will challenge you and
Yeah.
just say yes, and you will find
Find a
ways to
way.
make it happen.
And it's going to help you explore your inner self that this is my limit. This is, oh, I didn't know I could do this. And that's how you figure
Exactly.
it out. So,
And you'll surprise yourself.
yeah,
You'll see that you're capable
enough
to
of
do a
a
lot more
lot
than
of
what you
things.
thought you were
Yes.
able to do, because most of the time when you're in the corporate world, you're more limited, right? You have a
That's true.
very specific job description and
Yeah.
your expertise are expected in certain things only, and that's just how corporate works.
Yeah.
So sometimes you forget
How
to
great you
push
are.
yourself. Exactly. And then you realize, oh, I actually know how to do this.
Yeah. Oh, why did
Yeah.
I waste so much of time when I could grow horizontally? It's not necessarily to grow
100%.
vertically. I want to know
100%.
what's next for Aina.
A lot of things. So as I mentioned in the beginning, couture is definitely on the table. So we're currently
There we
working
go.
on exactly. So we're currently working on the new collection that will be launched hopefully next year.
Inshallah.
And the idea would be to grow the community of Aina and create a sort of a group
Mhm.
that my clients will be a part of, share ideas, exchange designs, these things. It's a bit like a watch
Beautiful.
club, but it's more of an
Yeah.
Aina club.
Beautiful. Well, we will look forward to you launching that idea, and I wish you all the best in that. But before
Thank
we
you.
end this episode, I would like you to give any advice. There are so many homegrown businesses who are into jewelry,
Yeah.
fashion. Anything you'd like to tell them? Um, any advice?
Yes. Don't be afraid to start. Don't don't complicate things and don't overthink things. If you're gonna start from your living room, start from your living room, but just start. Put yourself out there and you'll see people will start coming to you. It's not as scary as it seems. I started from my living room as well. Start from somewhere, start there, just put yourself out there and it's gonna come. All it takes is a little bit of courage.
See, that's what you said over there. It really hit me because people they always look for perfection. They said, "Hey, I
Yeah,
cannot be out there because I have an idea and I want to do something, but I
yeah,
can be out there because it's not perfect idea." I don't have the
Yeah,
right resources to do it, etc. And in that particular process, Tanya, they stop, and they never get to execute that idea or be the person that they can actually be.
exactly. 100%.
So, like Tanya said, just go for it, do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be you,
Yeah.
right?
Just start. Just start.
Tanya, this has been such an inspiring conversation. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
reminding
much.
us that most beautiful things often comes when we make the boldest decisions, like yourself, you did it. For anyone listening who wants to discover Aina Fine Jewellery, follow their journey. Where can we find you? Your Instagram, website? Would you like to share with us?
Instagram for sure.
Okay, Aina Jewellery underscore official. Is that the right one?
Yes,
Perfect.
exactly.
I'm gonna tag it as well in the comments so you can have a look and follow them and Tanya onto her journey. Thank you so much for being on the Glocal Collective. And to our listeners, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who's on the edge of building something of their own. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.